you be, to thrill you or sedate you, but they will never let you see.
Agriculture is a major industry in the United States. European agricultural practices greatly affected the landscape of New England, which is today known as the United States of America. Colonists brought livestock over from Europe, which caused many changes to the land.
The United States. With its large agriculture, the country's net exporter of food. As of last census of agriculture in 2007, there were about 2.2 million farms, covering an area of right about 922 million acres, an average of 418 acres per farm. In 1870, 70 to 80% of the US population was employed in agriculture. As of 2008, only approximately 2.3% of the population is directly employed in agriculture. A large part of the US farm workforce is made up of migrant and seasonal workers, many of them recent immigrants from Latin America or aliens working under work permits. Additional laws apply to these workers and their housing, which is often provided by the farmer. Agriculture ranks among the most hazardous industries. Farmers are at high risk for fatal and non-fatal injuries, work-related lung diseases, noise-induced hearing loss, skin diseases, and certain cancers associated with chemical use and prolonged sun exposure. Farming is one of the few industries in which the families, who often share the work and live on the premises, are also at risk for injuries, illness, and death. In an average year, 560 workers died doing farm work in the US.
Top 10 agricultural products of the United States, as reported by the FAO in 2003, included things such as corn, cattle meat, chicken meat, pig meat, and turkey's meat, cow's milk, soybeans, wheat, cotton lint, and hen eggs. The biggest agricultural product is corn, with an annual crop of over 250 million metric tons. Other agricultural products produced en masse, like this, are cow's milk, meat, and soybeans, with only wheat as an example, bringing an annual crop of only about 65 million metric tons. The value of production is also dominated by corn, which reaches up to $24 billion annually, followed closely by soybeans with about 17 billion. Of course, livestock is a big part of the US's agriculture. The major livestock industries in the United States are the dairy and beef cattle, swine, poultry, and sheep industries. The biggest inventory of livestock in the US is chicken, which goes up to a stunning 403 million chicken, followed with 100 million cattle. Canada, the second largest country in the world. It is a country so far on the north, a lot of the territories are uninhabitable for the severe cold, but nonetheless, farming is bigger in Canada than in many other countries. For you see, Canada is one of the largest agricultural producers and exporters in the world. As with other developed nations, the proportion of the population and GDP devoted to agriculture fell dramatically over the 20th century, but it remains an important element of the Canadian economy. Canada is mostly known for its grains and oilseeds, as well as red meats, both of which are exported all over the world. Together they make up 58% of Canada's agricultural producing, red meats at 24%, grains and oilseeds 34% respectively. Canada also has a large dairy industry, which is mainly domestic. Horticulture, poultry and eggs make up only 17% of the production, and is also mainly domestic. Being here in Canada myself, I found myself talking with an expert of Canadian export, Professor Larry Froston, University of Guelph.
Well, Canadian wheat is very popular in the world today, as well as rye, flax, rapeseed, canola, and barley. In fact, last year alone, Canada manufactured a total of 851.9 million tons of wheat. That being said, the early 20th century saw the development of many new types of wheat, including marquee wheat, which was actually developed to thrive in the Canadian weather.
Pretty strong meat there from Professor Froston. Speaking of meat, let us remind you that 24% of Canadian agriculture is red meats. From cattle to buffalo, elk, pork, lamb, and yes, the dreaded chicken. Canada's meat processing companies make a wide variety of meat products, ranging from fresh or frozen meat to processed, smoked, canned and cooked meats, as well as sausage and deli meats. About 70% of processed meats in Canada, such as sausages or cold cuts, are made with pork. Canadian red meat is quite a big deal in their export too. In fact, the numbers of beef export in 2010 were as high as 407,505 tons. But cows aren't grown there just for meat. The dairy industry is fairly large in itself as well, although export is limited. The Canadian dairy industry is famous for the superior genetic quality of its herd, as well as strong dairy cattle improvement and genetic evaluation programs. They make most excellent cheese in Canada, most popular of which is the type cheddar. We thank you for seeing us through our incredible journey through the US and Canada, exploring all possibilities, finding out more about agriculture and what defines it in some of the most influential countries in the world.